What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Money Moves episode 6. Let's dive into the Money Moves news. In our first news, Teleo raises $16.2 million to scale supervised autonomy for heavy equipment. Teleo revealed this week it raised $16.2 million in a Series A extension funds. The new funding will be used to scale customer deployments of semi-autonomous heavy equipment, continue expanding into new industries beyond construction, and enhance its AI capabilities. This Palo Alto, California-based Teleo announced new orders for 34 machines from 9 new customers across pulp and paper, logging, port logistics, munition clearing, and agriculture industries. The company aims to expand into airports, waste and recycling, logistics, warehousing, and more. The Series A extension came in 2 parts. It closed a $9.2 million extension in April 2024 that was led by UP Partners and included Truesdale Ventures and F Prime Capital. The second $7 million extension closed recently and was also led by UP Partners. It included Triatomic Capital and returning investors. Teleo has raised $29.8 million to date since it was founded in 2019, including its Series A funding round in June of 2022. Teleo's autonomy retrofit kit transformed various types of heavy equipment, including bulldozers, wheel loaders, and excavators into semi-autonomous and remotely operated robots. This approach, known as supervised autonomy, allows one operator to oversee several machines working together. The operator can remotely manage complex tasks from a central command center, whether situated nearby or thousands of miles away. The Teleo operator station includes multiple large screens with multiple camera feeds and vehicle stats, along with dual-stick controllers and foot pedals. The perception engine on board the remote vehicle monitors a 360-degree envelope around the vehicle and alerts the teleoperator to the presence of any obstacles, including humans, that might be in the proximity of the vehicle. Crusoe, a rumored OpenAI data center supplier, has secured $686 million in new funds, filing shows. Crusoe Energy, a startup building data centers reportedly to be leased to Oracle, Microsoft, and OpenAI, is in the process of raising $818 million according to an SEC filing. The filing indicates that Crusoe has secured $686 million of the $818 million total that it hopes to raise. 70 investors have contributed to the tranche so far, per the filing. Crusoe launched in 2018 as a cryptocurrency business powering its data centers with natural gas that would otherwise be flared off and wasted. Like many crypto mining operations, Crusoe pivoted as AI rose to prominence, securing deals with AI companies to provide high-performance computing and AI infrastructure. In early October, Crusoe announced it would enter a $3.4 billion joint venture with asset manager Blue Owl Capital to build a massive data center in Abilene, Texas. The campus is expected to be leased to Oracle, which will in turn rent it to Microsoft and its close collaborator OpenAI. In more Money Moves news, Candela brings its P12 electric ferry to Tahoe and adds another $14 million to build more. Electric passenger boat startup Candela has topped off its most recent raise with another $14 million, the company announced Thursday, and has sold the first of its ferries in the U.S. bound for Lake Tahoe. Candela makes a series of all-electric hydrofoiling watercraft, meaning the body of the boat rises above the surface of the water on fins as it gets up to speed. This looks a little precarious, but it is actually quite stable and helps reduce water resistance, raising range and smoothing out the ride. Earlier this year, the Swedish company raised $25 million in a Series C round, intended to, among other things, bankroll the deployment of its P12 ferry to its first customers. The first P12s were understandably put to work in Stockholm, but they have since made deals of varying immediacy in New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, Berlin, and now Tahoe. The first U.S.-based boat will travel a north-south route to allow people living near and visiting the picturesque lake to travel without driving. Tahoe's roads can get clogged with traffic and snow depending on the season, so more options for commuters and tourists will surely be welcome. Candela sold the vessel to be operated by flytahoe.com in case you want to book a trip. The Series C extension round was led by SEB Private Equity with participation by existing investors EQT Ventures and Candela AB. Rocket Lab gets up to $23.9 million in CHIPS funding for space-grade solar cells. The Department of Commerce has finalized federal funding for 2 more recipients under the CHIPS and Science Act. One of those is Rocket Lab, which has secured up to $23.9 million in funding to boost production of space-grade solar cells that power satellites and spacecraft. The company, which launched its 200th satellite to orbit over the weekend, will use the money to upgrade its manufacturing plant in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The funding will create more than 100 jobs. The goal is to beef up Rocket Lab's compound semiconductor semiconductor production by 50% within the next 3 years. The Commerce Department says this will meet the growing national security and commercial demand for these solar cells in the United States. Rocket Lab solar cells are vital components of many of the country's space programs. They're found on the James Webb Space Telescope, Ingenuity Mars helicopter, and Mars InSight lander. The solar cells are also used in NASA's Artemis missions as well as in commercial satellites. Rocket Lab, one of the only 2 U.S. companies that make space-grade solar cells, agreed to preliminary terms for the funding in June. Up next, we have AI chip startup MatX, founded by Google alums, raises Series A at $300 million plus valuation, sources say. MatX, a startup designing chips that support large language models, has raised a Series A of approximately $80 million, 3 sources say, less than a year after raising its $25 million seed round. Spark Capital led the investment, valuing the company at a pre-money valuation in the mid-$200 million range and a post-money valuation in the low $300 million range, a person who reviewed the deal told TechCrunch. Gunter and Pope told Bloomberg that the company's goals is to make its processors 10 times better at training LLMs and delivering results than NVIDIA's GPUs. The information reported last month that MatX was looking to raise between $75 million and $100 million for the round. Then we have AppCharge. AppCharge raises $26 million to help gaming apps cut out Apple and Google from virtual goods revenues. As Apple and Google continue to battle with regulators and publishers over whether their app stores are monopolistic, a startup called AppCharge has raised some funding to build an alternative for game developers who want a different avenue for monetization. AppCharge sees itself as a kind of Shopify for gaming, a platform for publishers to build their own sites for selling gaming currencies and other virtual goods directly to consumers. Now it has raised $26 million on a $100 million valuation to expand. The round is being led by Nordic VC Creandom, a major early investor in Spotify, which has been openly critical of app stores and has been influential in how regulators have gone after Apple specifically. Mobile games behemoth Supercell, gaming VC Bitcraft Ventures, Moneta Ventures, and previous backers Play Ventures and Gilead Capital have also participated alongside angel investors. AppCharge has built its own headless solution with gaming business models in mind. It provides technology to help link gaming accounts between apps with the stores run by the publishers themselves. It also offers analytics around pricing and purchasing activity, which Samsung said would have more machine learning underpinning it in the coming months. In more Money Moves news, Roon raises $15 million to replace Dr. Google with real doctors sharing videos about illness treatments. Roon is an online resource that provides clinically accurate, complex medical information created by doctors and people living with a specific disease. Roon is aiming to replace Googling, commonly called Dr. Google, and legacy healthcare content sites like WebMD and Healthline with video-based Q&As on thousands of health issues created by doctors in top medical institutions. Dr. Ramakrishna noticed that he and other physicians often answer the same set of questions when they are seeing patients. Yet, these answers are provided only during the doctor's appointment. Roon has invited thousands of doctors to share that information on its platform. Anyone looking for answers about a condition can access Roon and watch over 16,000 short videos about ALS, glioblastoma, dementia, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and fertility and family building. In the coming months, Roon plans to expand its coverage to women's health and will later expand its content to include pediatrics, cancer, neurology, and metabolic health. Although the company has not yet begun generating revenue nor figured out its business model, investors have faith. The startup has raised $15 million at a valuation of $68 million, co-led by Forerunner Ventures and FirstMark, and joined by previous investors Sequoia Capital and TMV. Map AI gains $1.3 million to drive Australian geospatial data. Australian geospatial data analytics firm Map AI announced a fresh round of funding worth roughly $1.3 million. Through supporters Frontier SI and UNSW Sydney, Map AI secured the capital to promote its generative AI features of the Geospatial Toolkit. Geospatial data is commonly the building block behind location-based AR experiences such as entertainment, marketing, and construction demands. Additionally, as AR smart glasses rise in popularity among hardware vendors, new options for users to interact with the location-based 3D content will be required for them to get the most out of the XR hardware from a consumer and business level. Moreover, the $1.3 million in funding enables the firm to scale the Map AI service for businesses and consumer use cases. The firm plans to launch the service as a consumer-ready service early in 2025, allowing users to explore Australian 3D geospatial data via a web page. In the next article, air taxi startup Vertical Aerospace extends runway with $50 million lifeline. Vertical Aerospace has been thrown a crucial lifeline staving off potential bankruptcy at the cash-strapped air taxi startup. The UK-based company, which makes electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, secured the fresh funds from its largest creditor, American debt investor Merdrick Capital. The agreement announced Monday includes a $50 million cash injection and a substantial debt-to-equity swap. Merdrick will invest $25 million up front and guarantee another $25 million in future funding, offset by contributions from third-party investors. Merdrick will also convert half of its $130 million in outstanding loans into equity at $2.75 per share, taking its ownership stake in Vertical to just over 70%. This move reduces Vertical's debt burden while extending the repayment date for the remaining $65 million to December of 2028. And then we have Bending Spoons. Bending Spoons is taking video platform Bright Cove private in the $233 million acquisition. Bright Cove, a cloud platform that helps businesses manage and monetize video content, is being taken private by Italian technology company Bending Spoons in an all-cash deal valued at $233 million. Bright Cove develops tools and services for creating, hosting, streaming, marketing, and monetizing video content with clients including Marriott Hotels, Ford, and Johnson & Johnson. The company, which went public on the NASDAQ in 2012 at $11 per share, hasn't had a fruitful time of late in its most recent earnings. So everyone, that's just some of the latest Money Moves news happening in the world of technology. You see different companies in different industries receiving millions and billions of dollars that are looking to scale what they're doing and expand this technological revolution that we're already in. So to continue to stay informed about the future Money Moves news that's to come, like the video, subscribe, check out these two videos right here where I keep you informed about the things you should know happening in the world of technology.